there was a time, and I feel like it was, you know, in my age and even before my age, where a joke was a joke and people got it. We made fun of each other, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and it was just funny. I mean, we just knew that it was funny. Now, I know that there are some people out there who don't think it's funny. They get offended very easily, but I feel like there's a large group of younger generation who want to be offended. It's almost like they want to be offended, like they are trying to find something to be offended by. And they'll search, you know, 8, 10, 20 years into your Twitter history and try to find something that you said because you're successful. They want to find something that you said in the past that could be taken the wrong way and then find a way to cancel you. It's the cancel culture.
This is what's so crazy is that the younger generation, everybody that's not in your generation, they look at it and they go, they're so sensitive and they don't let you joke about these things. I do a lot of colleges. I talk to a lot of people that are 10 years younger than me. Everybody thinks that I'm, 21, 22. I'm 28, I'm about to turn 29. So I'm doing these shows at colleges where kids are from 17 to 24, whatever, sometimes. So I've seen how a lot of college students' brains work and how this generation is coming up. They're way more open-minded than people understand. Like, you're willing to have a conversation because you're still learning. When you're like 30 and up, you're done having conversations about learning because you go, this is how I feel, this is how I think, this is who I am, right? You're stuck in that. It sucks because like, once you're stuck in this way of believing, you're just gonna defend that point until you die. College students are still going, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, oh, why do you feel like that? Oh, that makes sense, that's a good point. The conversation is so open. So comedy bridges the gap between honest conversation and funny, right? So like, I can talk about, diversity and I can talk about equality and these things and make jokes, but also make a really good point.
There used to be a time where you could just make a joke and everybody knew it was a joke. And I think that's what stand-up is trying to fight against, because the cancel culture has been kind of almost the death of stand-up comedy. And it's been definitely a big thorn in its side, if nothing else.
But who's getting canceled? You're only able to get canceled if you're saying something that's whack, or if you're allowing yourself to get canceled. Because like Andrew Schultz says wild stuff, but the people who love Andrew Schultz, you're not going to cancel him because he's doing it. It's a bit. He doesn't believe, oh, we should punch women. The bit is the bit, man. Like, it's all in what the context is.
I believe it was like Ari Shaffir, who's had some things over the years that people, didn't like what he said. And, basically what he said in the quote was, we have to be allowed to fail. As a comedian, you have to be able to take chances and take risks. And it doesn't always work. You may say something that is offensive and they don't like it. Okay, well, that won't work. Maybe I'll write differently or write better.
A lot of people think they have a sense of humor until they hear a joke that they don't like. And if you know about comedy, if you follow comedy, if you have an appreciation for comedy, you can then at least recognize that's someone that was trying to make a joke. They're trying to make light of maybe a sensitive topic in order to get through to the issue, in order to create a situation we call bond through the use of humor. And maybe it came out wrong. Maybe it wasn't perfect. Maybe it was a little bit clumsy. But when people have an idea of this was the attempt was to do something good, and people recognize that, then maybe we can lighten up a little bit on the gotcha games.
I mean, because the people who do try the cancel thing, where they're like, you can't say this, you can't do this, they don't actually feel that way. It's just it's a hero mentality of like, oh, I know that people are going to agree with me if I say you can't say that. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, they're trying to do the right thing. But they don't actually care. Because the thing is once you stand up and you go, no, it's a bit, this is my job, the joke is the joke. The worst thing you do to comedians is not laugh at the bit.
As an artist, you have to be able to take risks. I mean, everybody has some album of a musician, they're like, man, why would he do that? Well, that was how he was at that moment. And, I'm not to say it's not without consequences, but comics, they do want to be able to take those chances and to be able to work on stuff to get that product. They may, to have a good hour set to be ready to record for a special, that's probably 3 to 5 years of them working on that. Changing jokes up, changing the wording, changing the order. And it's not always going to work. It's not always going to be perfect. But they have to be able to be allowed to take those chances.
It's one of those careers that you only get good at by failing. It truly is, because failing informs you why to do it one way and not the other. And it's one of those things where, like, as I'm talking on stage, I know why to say it like this, with this inflection, avoid this trigger word, because I've seen the effects of all of those not being done that way. So it's not a guess anymore. It's just I have enough hours on stage, mileage on stage to pull from to go like, no, this is the way you get there.
I promise you, if I do a bit 10 times and it doesn't get the laugh, I'm not gonna keep doing the bit. But if it crushes and one person goes, you can't say that, the room just told you differently. You know how many videos I've posted online where thousands of people will be like, loved this, made my day. But then one guy's like, not funny. You're wrong. Like, and you're allowed to have, not even you're wrong, you're allowed to have your opinion, right? But if you don't like a comedian, you don't like what they say, don't watch them. There's so many comedians that I go, I don't like his bits, I don't like that joke, that's not for me. But I'm not gonna go, get rid of that guy, he made a joke about air. Like, if it doesn't pertain to me in my life and I don't like it, I'm just not gonna watch it.
Everybody has their barometer on what's offensive or what's clean or what's dirty. You don't have to like it, but I do respect and I do want their freedom to be able to say it.
I think that it's very important that we all know to laugh at each other. If the idea in the world is unity despite race, sexual orientation, gender, whatever it may be, if the idea is unity, then we can't have any subject untouched. You know, I make fun of you because you have curly hair, you make fun of me because I have no hair. And it's a mutual understanding that we're joking, we're kidding, we recognize the differences between each other, but we respect them.
I'm not going to apologize for finding something funny, because what I'm communicating is the truth, right? And so my argument has always been, if someone laughs at something, they are agreeing. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, it is true. The laughing is a truth in the world, right? It's empathizing with the thing that you understand, right? And so when people get upset with jokes, I can appreciate that you can be upset with it, but if other people laughed, I need you to also understand that that was a confirmation of that truth does exist in the world. And so they were speaking to that truth. You hope somebody's intentions are good, but just know that when someone laughs, they are confirming a truth in the world.
Yeah.
They're confirming that that didn't come out of nowhere. And so I do appreciate that in comedy.
I'm a manly man who owns a Shih Tzu.
This is as professional as I ever dressed. I'm wearing a girl's workout shirt, for God's sake. When the hell am I going to wear a tie?
Just be crazy. It works so good. I got called a jungle monkey 2 weeks ago. I just went tomato, tomato. How do you get me?